Now to a story you're going to see only on 12. Once an eyesore, now the jewel of Mount Vernon. We at Tours are talking about Memorial Field, and tonight we're going to take a look at the botched project that took 12 years to finish. News 12's Nadia Galindo is diving into the history in part 2 of our exclusive series, Field of Dreams.
You said mustard and a little onion.
Things are done the old-fashioned way at Lou's Hot Dogs, where the dogs
I've been cooking them a long time.
are fresh. And Tommy Deegan
Some people call me Tommy. A lot of people call me Lou.
Thank you, boss.
has become a sort of local legend in Mount Vernon.
Lou's been here he's a pillar here. He's been here for years.
He's been parking on Garden Avenue across from Memorial Field for decades.
How long have I been selling hot dogs? 45 years.
And when you've been around for that long,
Back then, the place was beautiful.
you see how time and neglect can cause decay.
All of a sudden, it just went straight downhill.
Memorial Field was built in the 1930s and has had decades of glory. It was the site of the Mean Joe Green Coca-Cola commercial.
Mr. Green? Mr. Green?
Yeah.
And the Jackson 5 played here.
I was a little kid climbing over the gate when Michael Jackson was here. Amazing. The lights was everything. Seeing him dance and spin around.
Memorial Field was that very natural and that very organic meeting place.
Mount Vernon Mayor Sean Patterson Howard was in the marching band and graduated on Memorial Field.
There were gospel concerts at Memorial Field. There were relays for life. The Black Rodeo came to Memorial Field.
Long gone are those days. The last Mount Vernon High School football game at the field was played in 2007. And in 2010, the field closed for good.
August 27, 2010. I could see the sign they hung on the wall. Closed for renovations.
But a project that should have taken only a few years to complete ended up taking more than a decade. Mayor Patterson Howard and many others blame political fighting for stalling the project.
You had 4 mayors before me, each who ran their own race. And instead of passing the baton from one person to the other, to finish that lap around the track, the plans kept getting changed.
The field also became the grounds for illegal dumping of toxic materials under Mayor Ernie Davis.
It's not a dump site. I don't care what it is. What are you dumping?
No one has ever been held accountable, but the Department of Environmental Conservation confirmed the city did pay a $40,000 fine for the fiasco. The project was also marred with corruption, as the former city water commissioner and head of the project was sentenced to 15 months in prison back in 2016 for a bribe made on the field itself. And then there was the tennis bubble blunder. Former Mayor Richard Thomas deflated the bubble, protecting tennis courts at properties, sparking outrage and lawsuits.
It's obviously the missed opportunity.
County Executive George Latimer has watched the political turmoil surrounding Memorial Field.
Well, I grew up in Mount Vernon. I'm a Southside Mount Vernon boy, went to public schools all the way through.
He helped turn this eyesore into something the community can finally use. In August 2020, Latimer and Patterson Howard held a 5th groundbreaking at Memorial Field.
Today we are believing again. We are moving forward together.
The city handed off the project to the county.
The county said, look, turn the project over to us. Sign an intermunicipal agreement with the county. We will get it done.
But one final roadblock, a pandemic that pushed the $25 million project's completion date back by a year.
It took longer than we thought and was more costly than we thought.
But the field of broken promises will finally open this month. If you ask Tommy,
And it's coming out beautiful. It's really going to be beautiful.
a bad track record has left him a tad jaded.
I'm very curious because I really don't know what's going to take place here.
He doesn't know how many more years he'll be selling hot dogs,
You want me to wrap?
but he hopes those years are spent parked next to a field, finally delivered back to the people of Mount Vernon. Nadia Galindo, News 12.
Well, the official ribbon cutting of Memorial Field will happen next week, but News 12 is getting you inside first. We're going to give you a full tour tomorrow in the 3rd part of our series right here on the news at 10. And you've been sharing your memories of the old Memorial Park on news12.com, and check out some of these pictures. Here's Coach Mark Murray back in the glory days. He is the Knights' current football head coach, so he played on Memorial Field before he graduated from the high school there in 2006. Robert Latimer shared this picture of the daughters of Malcolm X and Betty Shabazz at African Family Day. So apparently they were former residents of the city. And last but not least, here's the graduating class of 1985. We want to thank Keith Preston for sending that picture in. And keep sending the memories in. We want to share them on air and online before the new Memorial Field makes its long-awaited debut.